what's up, y'all? This your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
LaurenSizzle.
And this is WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM, man. And check this out. You already know this is We Talk Weeklies After the Talk, man. And this is what we do. You know, it's one of those things where the interviews are really dear to me, right? And that's because we got some beautiful people, dynamic people, people that's really doing some things in the community, doing some things for the people. Black girl magic, you know what I'm saying? We got gentlemen out there doing what they need to do, and we all getting money at the end of the day. Well, that's what we supposed to do, right? And so we got someone that, you know, she been all on Instagram. I checked out there my research on, you know, that's what we gotta do. So I see you trying to be all sexy and whatnot. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Give you a shout out. You know, and you know, so we gotta do our little research, right? So before I jump into, you know, all the nitty gritty stuff, well, tell me who we got today.
So we have Sheena Edwards. She's an award-winning author, advocate, influencer, and speaker. She's a Philly native. Shout out to Philly. Philly. Doing big things.
Hashtag free Meek Mill.
Yes. Hashtag free Meek Mill.
All day.
And she's a single mother of two. She was born in the early 80s.
Okay.
And as a child, she dreamed of becoming a famous singer. She later attended beauty school where she perfected her skills as a professional makeup artist.
Okay.
She reached great success working in the beauty industry where she worked primarily in theater and film. So her career and personal life changed when her youngest child was diagnosed with autism in July of 2013. So since her child's diagnosis, Edwards has been very vocal within her community, raising awareness about the importance of fair treatment and equal rights for people living with autism. So she's had a natural talent and love for writing since a child. So when she found herself alone and full of emotions, she decided to put her experience into words, completing her first book, a memoir called Along Came Autism. Her mission is to spread awareness while providing education and support for other single-parent families living with autism. Welcome to the show, Sheena Edwards.
Thank you.
Right, no doubt. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No doubt. And so I'm gonna jump right into it. Before we get into you know, the angels that you got, I consider like the parents of kids with, you know, special needs, the angels, right? Because you guys, we know that the time that you spend with children can be challenging. You know, that's kind of my background. I work in mental health. I work with many children on the spectrum, so I get it, right? Yeah. And so whether not sure if he's high functioning, low functioning. It's a girl. Oh, my bro. Oh, I love that name. Bro. Yes. She high functioning, low functioning, but we'll get into a little bit of that. But before we get into your beautiful daughter, let's talk a little bit about kind of like your journey before you had your children, right? And so what was that kind of like idea of you in the hustle and bustle and you as a businesswoman and you as just trying to make it in the streets of Philly? How was that for you?
So before autism, I feel like I've been an entrepreneur before the word existed. Because it seemed like since social media that people like, I'm an entrepreneur. I have never technically worked for anybody. Like besides working in the theater, which I started doing when my son was probably 3 or 4, and he's 15 now. So I started working in the theater years ago. Just a girlfriend of mine, somebody called out, she called me in, and that's been my only like paycheck job all my life. But prior to that, like I did hair. That was my hustle in college. I got pregnant my second year into my second year of college. So I went to beauty school. I always was a hustler. Like I always had different ways of getting money. And I never wanted to fit into like a cookie cutter. Like I never wanted to be a lawyer. I never wanted to be a doctor. I sang when I was young. So in my mind, I thought I was going to be like a singer and a writer because I've been writing poetry since I was like 6 or 7. So I in my mind, I knew I was going to write. I always wanted to write. But life, you know, takes its twists and turns, and I never did it. Like I always would still write poetry, and I have books dated back to like 98 all the way up to like 2003 where I just would write a lot, like with a pen and paper. But I always did my own thing. I did personal shopping. My cousin had a clothing line. I didn't know I was doing marketing and PR, but I was doing his marketing and PR. We were dressing celebrities, and then I got like very popular just from like different, like people in New York and LA just knew me because they like, oh, that's the girl that do the clothing line stuff. So I kind of like, thank God I was able to like jump into different things, always in the creative realm, always being able to use my God-given abilities and kind of like have a lifestyle and be able to sustain a lifestyle for me and my son. And that was before autism, before I became a real author.
Right. Because I was going to ask you, like, what made you, I guess, not pursue your dream of singing?
I think, okay, it's going to sound weird, but I feel like I didn't have support from like my mom. So, like, I would have concerts and she wouldn't show up. I mean, not that she didn't want to, but my mom was a single mom. She worked like 11 to 7. She was always working. Me and my sister went to private school. So, now that I'm a mom, I understand why she couldn't be there. But when you're 16, 15, you singing and all your friends' parents is there and your mom not there, you like, I don't want to do this no more. So it kind of like, I'm the type of person like and I'm still like that as an adult that I'm working on, when I'm not getting, the things is not being reciprocated from the outside, I tend to like shut down. So that probably was the reason that I just was like, I ain't singing no more. Like now you can't even pay me to sing. I feel like I'm not singing. You know what I mean? Like I sing to my kids, but I think that's what happened. Like I wasn't getting the support that I felt like I wanted or deserved, and it was just like a negative thought when it came in. Like I'm not singing, my mom ain't here, I ain't doing it. But I did it for a long time. Like in middle school and high school, I used to sing for everything. I used to be on Unity, all kinds of stuff. But I just was like, whatever. I don't have the support. I'm not doing it. So that's what happened. It's not. I don't feel bad about it, but that's not. When you grow up and you're a parent now, you're like, well, your mom couldn't be there. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you're a kid, you don't look at it like that.
So after the singing, then comes what?
Makeup, which I didn't even wear makeup. Like I hated makeup. I used to be like, ew, like why these girls got this makeup on? Like I wasn't. But my best friend, she a little older than me. She used to do her makeup, and she used to look like one of those, like, you know, those Chinese dolls with like the face is one color and then they put the whole white thing. And I'm like, you need to let me do your makeup. Yeah. And she's like, what? You can't do makeup. And I did it, and she liked it. And then I was like, oh, I think I know how to do this. I think I could do this. So it just naturally came. Again, like I said, I would do proms, and I remember when, like, now makeup is popular, and sometimes I say it and people feel like I'm being cocky, but I'm not being cocky. I'm just telling the truth. When I was doing makeup, it was minimal makeup artists in Philadelphia. It wasn't, I remember doing a fashion show in Atlantic City one time. I had 300 models. It was just me. And I was doing it by myself, and it wasn't no YouTube. When I knew that I wanted to do makeup right, I begged my mom if I could go to New York, and I went to this academy in New York, and I used to catch the train to New York, and the guy that used to do the people on soap operas, that's how I learned how to do makeup. I went to New York, I took classes, I perfected my craft, and I just kept going. So makeup came, the theater situation came, and that was, it was good money. I didn't have to really deal with people. It was just the actors and the people in the shows, and I had been very blessed. I don't know how, like, somebody look out for me and they make sure that, like, if this is what this girl want to do, we gonna open them doors. And that's just how it's been, like, all my life.
No. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to the Philly fashion industry, because I've been in the industry for a while in Philly. You know Cindy Lane?
I know the name, yeah.
She does a lot of makeup, and and so you remind me of her, especially with her story. But shout out to Philly, because Philly, I think we are probably the most underrated city.
And it's us that make it that way, though.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what?
You know what I mean?
That was going to be my next.
Yeah,
that was going to be my next. So that's an excellent transition into, you talk about support, right? And support that you potentially didn't get. Let's talk about Philadelphia and the support that you feel like you got or didn't get in Philly. Because, we're known as the kind of crab in a barrel mentality. We don't support each other, but we got the hashtag going around. Philly against everybody, Philly versus everybody, that kind of thing. And, Philly love Philly, Philly for Philly, that whole kind of situation, hashtag in the building. So what do you think about that?
I'm 35, so I've been hashtag Philly, Philly, Philly before social media. You know what I mean? Like, before it was popular to say, like, oh, I'm Philly versus everybody. Yeah. Really, it should be hashtag Philly versus Philly. Because, and I seen something on Instagram the other day, and I'm like, it's so true, but I try to like not debate stuff on social media. I don't feel like it, but Philly don't support talent. Philly supports popularity. That's what I saw. And I, like, you should know, because you've been around, like, we never met personally, but I've seen you, around, and it's always been that way. Like, if you are the person that they think, like, dang, I need to get close to them, then they're going to buy you a t-shirt, or they're going to call you to do their makeup, but as soon as they feel like it's somebody else train a little longer, or if they post you, or you say you with them, then you're going to get a follower. It's like high school, and it's sad because it's a lot of talent here, but we mess it up. And I'm going to put me in a category because I'm from West Philly. Not that these are my ways. Yeah, but we do that to each other. It sound good, it's cute, but I know plenty of people that's mad talented, that's way more talented than half of these people. Philly is funny because I see girls y'all follow, and y'all can go through who I follow. I don't follow people unless I know them, I'm inspired by them, or I have worked with them. But I see girls in Philly follow somebody from, let's just say, Atlanta, who do the same exact thing that somebody from Philly do. And they be under the page like, hey girl, yes sis, you poppin'. But it's somebody right here that do the same thing, that been doing that thing, and probably could do it better. But it's like, before we, and this is a woman thing, and it's sad too, but it's like, before we able to be like, you poppin', I want to work with you, I admire you, y'all would do it to a stranger. And then you wonder why we underrated. Because when I do events in other places, it's love.
So everybody, and I was going to say that because, I go all over, and I go to Vegas, Magic, Project, a lot of the trade shows over there. They hear you from Philly, love.
It's
LA,
love.
They hear you from Philly, love. Miami, they hear you from Philly, love. Even New York, they hate it a little bit because we close to them, but they still show love. They say we remind them of like maybe a Harlem.
It depends on what your style is. They be like, oh, like, you from West Philly, you like, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But and then Philly funny too, because like I just was in LA last week. I used to live there a little bit. And I had family there, so I'm a West Coast girl at heart. But I just was there last week, and Philly people in LA stick together. That's just like if you go to, back in the day, we would go to Miami for like Zoe weekend or something.
Or Atlanta.
Philly people in Miami will be partying, we stick together. But it don't reciprocate, it don't trickle over. And if y'all want to be an entrepreneur, y'all want to be a girl boss, y'all want to be hashtag whatever, it gotta carry over. It gotta carry over, and it doesn't, and that's the bad thing.
So let's talk about, so before we get into, one last question, because I want to talk, because I hate to stay in.
No, we good.
Okay, good. So I hate to stay in the energy of like the negativity of what Philly is, right? But recently, because we mentioned shirts, Milano, right? She came under fire about, her using kind of like H&M shirts to put her brand on it. Have you heard about that? I
was in LA when it happened. I don't, like, I'm older, so I try to like stay in my age bracket, but I heard about it briefly.
So, it seems that she caught most of the flack from Philly. You know what I mean? And so what would you say to somebody like, her and her brand, if she felt like this was too much, I need to give up, or what should I do next? What would you tell her, and you being a little bit more experienced in the industry, or at the very least been here longer? You know what I mean?
I would say to anybody, whether you under fire for something or you just get in that realm where it's like, am I really doing the right thing, or should I be doing this? Like, you have to have tunnel vision.
Right.
Because I always tell people it only take that one person to see what you're doing and love it. And that's all you need. Like, you don't really need 100 million people to say they love what you do. As long as you love it, your intentions are well, you know what I mean? God gave you a gift, use it. Because I always say, and I say it a lot, like, people that mind don't matter and people that matter don't mind. And you can't let any negativity stop you from your goals and your destiny. If your intentions are good and this is something that you eat, sleep, breathe, you can't stop thinking about, and this is what you want to do, keep doing it. And they gonna buy it anyway. because they was talking trash, but I'm sure she ain't lose $1.
I know that's right.
And even if she did, you can get it from somewhere else. It's all like social media changed everything. And it's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? Because you able to connect with people that you probably would never be able to connect with, but at the same time, it's like you feel so much pressure. Because when you introduce me, like, oh, you be being sexy, and I'm like, not really. But when I was just talking about my daughter, people like they want to know you, they want to know your story, and then you got to be so transparent. And then as a mom, like I have a teenage son, and I'm like, how much do you show, or how much should people know? You got to be transparent. And Milano, I don't know her personally, but I see what I see, and I feel like even anybody, but we'll use her for an example. Once you put yourself out there, unfortunately, you're going to get built up and you're going to get knocked down. And you're going to get built up and you're going to get knocked down. And it's like, you hear celebrities say it all the time, like, oh, like I didn't ask for this. Yes, you did. The minute that you become popular, the minute that you become a noticeable brand, whether it's on a local level or an international level, you signed up for that. You got to have thick skin. You got to have tunnel vision. You got to just keep working. Just keep working. And who cares? Like, who cares what they say?
That's right. So shout out to Milano. Keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? We still around with you. So let's talk about putting the pieces back together.
Okay.
Let's start with the chain, because we understand what that is with the angels, right? Yeah. I noticed that. So let's talk about that, because, all our viewers going to be saying, oh, that's a great job. I love that piece. So let's talk about that, and let's jump into your mission, your narrative, your initiative.
So my chain is a puzzle piece. The puzzle piece is like the international, national symbol for autism. I actually have this tattoo on my ankle, and somebody got this done for me custom. Shout out to my girlfriend, Crystal Streets Jewelry. She's from Philly, but she's in LA now. She used to be a very, very popular wardrobe stylist. That's how I got to work with Jay-Z and a lot of celebrities through her. And now she stopped styling, and she's like one of the only African-American women diamond dealers in the world. And we've remained close just from doing fashion stuff together. But Crystal Streets designed this for me custom. And I wear it every day. I wear the puzzle piece because it represents my life right now. And it's not always peaches and cream. Like, I always try to avoid people thinking, like, I think I posted on my story the other day, like, I hope I don't make it look too easy. But it took a long time for me to get to the point where I still want to be Sheena. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in a transition now where it's like, how much of my life do I have to sacrifice for my daughter to have a life? And in the beginning, it was a no-brainer. Like, oh, my daughter was nonverbal. I needed 12 hours a day of therapy. It was, it's in my book, but I talk about how I walked past a mirror in that first year and I didn't recognize myself. And you talking about somebody that's been in the beauty industry, entertainment industry all her life. But I'm walking past the mirror and I'm wearing the same Uggs and the same tights and the same hoodie every day for a year. And when it's hot, the same t-shirt, the same shorts, the same flip-flops, just grinding it out, trying to get over the hump with my daughter. And then I'm looking at myself and I'm like, you disappearing. And one of my best friends, she said to me, she like, Sheena, like, you need to be who you are. Monroe deserves that Sheena to be her mom. Not like, this person that's falling into this depression. And like, I literally, like, even now, I still battle with days where I don't feel like doing it. Like, I feel like I've given up so much. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the movie Streets with Meek Mill and a lot of the Nafisa Williams. That's like my baby cousin. But look at their careers. I did that movie with them. I was the lead makeup artist on that movie. I did a lot of Jamal Hill movies. But that movie catapulted everybody's career except mine. Because when that movie came out, literally the day the movie premiered, I was pushing my daughter out. Literally, Charlie Mack called me. He like, what you doing? I'm like, having my baby. But literally, like, no lie, in the hospital. I'm like, I'm pushing her out right now. But when I think about that moment, like, I don't really talk about it that much, but it's like, everybody that was in that movie, their career, like, Nafisa is a superhero right now. I'm so proud of everybody, and it's not coming from a place of like, they deserve it. I'm happy for them. It's like I'm watching people live this life that I should have been able to take my stuff, my 2 kids, and go to LA and use that platform and take my career to the next level because I had grinded so long. But autism came, and it's like, now I can't. And I don't know if I'm gonna get another chance, or do I or it wasn't not the plan, and then you start feeling like, okay, so you bust your butt for 10 years for nothing, for you to be sitting in the therapy with your daughter, like, you know what I mean? And I love my daughter, but I'm not fake. And I don't never want people to ever think, because a lot of autism parents be like, oh, I wouldn't change a thing. Oh, I would give every finger on my arm, on both hands, for my daughter not to have special needs.
Yeah. But you know what? Something that we, especially in behavioral mod and psychology realm, you know, they say that it's okay to have those feelings, right? Because that's what makes you human.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a robot, and it's not anyone's fault. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I call y'all the angels, because it's people like you that still stuck it in. It's a lot of people that would have gave that up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? That's the magic. That's the love. And we need more people like you, because you understand those sleepless nights. You understand the phone calls. You understand getting calls from school. You understand all these things, right? You understand not getting, not getting the response that you want to get from something that you pushed out.
Exactly.
You understand it? I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that field, so I get it. So I just, for you, I just want you to it's not a guilt. Some people feel guilt, but I just want you to get rid of
I don't feel like it's guilt. I feel like you start resenting and you start replaying. I probably replayed my pregnancy over and over and over. Like, oh, what did I do wrong? Or did I do this? And it's not about like it's somebody's fault. I mean, I have my own theories on autism, but the reality is you give up your life. And thankfully, my daughter don't have she doesn't have behavior issues. She don't currently have like a BSA or anything like that. She was nonverbal. She's verbal now. She goes to one of the only approved Catholic schools in the world for children with disabilities. And we have been lucky. Like, whoever has got my back up there, they hold me down, and I appreciate that. But essentially, you give up your life. And I'm on a lot of autism parent groups on Facebook, and the stories that I hear, and that's why I do what I do. Because I told somebody this the other day, like, honestly, like, my daughter is good. She goes to an amazing school. There's 10 kids in her class. Amazing. She's in an amazing place. But there's so many people that are not. It's so many moms that, still feel like it's their fault, or still feel guilty, or still feel bad. So I try to encourage other parents, like, you could be popping and be an autism mom. You don't have to look scruffy and all of that. Like, you don't gotta look like what you go through. Because literally, like, I probably cry myself to sleep 4 nights a week. But I'm going to get up, I'm going to put on a little bit of eyeliner, and I'm going to make it work. And then that's where the books come from. The books come from, like, okay, if nobody's not going to talk about it, from our perspective, because unfortunately, Black people don't like to talk about mental illness. They don't like to talk about special needs. They definitely don't like to talk about single special needs parenting. So I'm like, you know what? If this is what God give me, He gonna give me this mess. I'm gonna clean it up, and I'm gonna educate people and try to inspire people and uplift people and let them know, like, it's a millions of moms like me.
Absolutely.
I get DMs every day from moms, like, how can you inspire me, like, you keep yourself together. And I'm like, really, I'm falling apart, but I do this for y'all because I want y'all to know, like, we gotta just hold it down. And it's hard. It is hard because some kids, like you said, like, they schools is calling, and then what kind of job you gonna have? I talked to a mom today that was like, Sheena, I have to quit my job. What kind of job you gonna have? And a lot of marriages break up because of autism. So what kind of man you gonna have? Like, what kind of life you gonna have? It's hard, And people that don't have children or don't have children with special needs, they so blind and like ignorant to really what it's about. Like, nobody wants a pity party. We just want you to understand it's hard,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so that's why we, shout out to you, magic. I mean, I love it. So in picking those pieces up, you decided to write a book.
Yeah, when Monroe was nonverbal, I used to write letters to her. Because I'm like, well, what if she never talk? Or, I wanted her to know how I felt about her. So besides me when she first was diagnosed, I wasn't talking about it for like a week. And then I was like, this when Instagram first started. So I'm like, I'm not going to be posting no cute pictures and not telling people what's going on. So I started documenting her whole transition, her journey via my Instagram. I used to be at Team Monroe, but I changed it to at I am Sheena E. Just because, I got more comfortable with letting people know who I was. But I started writing her letters, and I started reading. I read a lot of books, and I read a lot of books, but they was from a different perspective. They were from like Caucasian women that were wealthy, or women with a 2-parent household, and people who, oh, my husband works every day and I stay home with the kids. So you don't even know the financial struggle. You know what I mean? You don't even know how to feel to give up on your dreams because you never had no dreams. You was a housewife. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tell our story. So my first book, my novel is called Along Came Autism, the first 200 weeks, because I used to read a lot that the first 200 weeks is pivotal. The first 100 days are very pivotal when you first get a diagnosis. So I'm like, you know what? And I wrote it in real time. I went back a little bit in the beginning, and then I wrote it as things were happening because I wanted people to get a real good look at what Black single parenting looks like when you have a child with special needs. So that's where Along Came Autism came. And then second, my daughter I think she was 5, and she had a birthday party. And of course you invite everybody. And I felt like nobody told their kid, like, we're going to Monroe's birthday party. She might not respond to you. She's autistic. I feel like nobody explained it because some of the kids in her party like, well, why that baby got a bottle, or why she not talking? So we wrote a children's book together called Get to Know Monroe to introduce what an autistic child may behave like to children that aren't autistic. So, and I never wanted to write a children's book, but I felt like it was needed. So that's where that came from. So all the writing I've been doing all my life, finally, I became a writer. So I guess one of my dreams came true by default. Yeah. And then I wrote another book. It's called #Be Inspired, because people kept asking me, like, how do you do all of this stuff? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to show y'all what I did. Like, I treat it like a job. I treat everything I do. I put myself on schedules. The way I save my money is all in that book. So I kind of became this writer girl now.
You were in the process of basically grooming her to be a child model.
Yeah, she had a modeling contract at 8 months. At the time we was doing, like my baby Gregory, kids, when you a kid model, like all they want to make sure you could do is sit and look. And she was doing it. And then, and this is, before I say it, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, don't kill me, don't come after me. I only can speak from my own experience. And in my experience, after my daughter received her MMR vaccines, she went blank.
I was going to ask that.
Regress.
I was going to ask that because that becomes the elephant in the room, right? Because that's kind of like the urban legend, the myth, the kind of, this is what caused it. What do you believe caused it? And after that question, when did you start noticing?
Okay, I believe, I'll say this. I don't think it's the case for everybody.
Right.
But I will bet the money that God has blessed me with for the rest of my life that a vast majority of children have autism because of their vaccines. And I know that for me to be true because my daughter was answering to her name. She was doing my baby Gregory every day, touching her nose, touching her eyes, arms up, arms down. She was right at the point where she should have been saying, like, mommy. And she never, she got her vaccine. You get to, the MMR is something that they want to give you between 12 and 18 months. Monroe got hers after her first birthday. Her birthday is in July. She got hers around 15 months, roughly. Immediately she was different. Immediately I would turn on my baby Gregory and she just would look around. And I'm like, is she bored? Because in my mind, I'm like, we do this every day. Is she bored? I shouldn't be doing it. My daughter used to be on photo shoots. She used to be with me doing makeup. She never said lip gloss. She never said, and my little cousin used to babysit her. And my little cousin used to have her everywhere. I'm like, she ain't even saying a curse word. You think that she would get some type of verbal influence. It was nothing. And when I would ask her doctors, her prior doctors, because she got a real good doctor now, what are you talking about? She's not in daycare. This is in the third. And I'm like, they used to call her the shop baby. She used to be in the hair salon with me all the time. And she ain't saying curler. She not saying nothing. So I noticed her behavior change within that same week of the vaccine. She never spoke. It happened immediately.
Wow. Okay. couple more questions. All right. So, knowing what you know now, right? If you knew what you knew now, then what would you do differently?
I would never vaccinate my child. And if I did do it, I would do it after the age of 3, because the numbers say that if you get the MMR after the age of 3, the chances of autism is slim. However, if I knew then what I know now, she would have never got a vaccination. Never. She doesn't get them now. She don't get nothing. You're not giving her no shot for nothing. Nothing.
I know that's right, yeah. And they really pushing that. They'll even make you feel
like you doing something wrong, right? It's a movie. Anybody that hear this, there's a movie. I actually sat on a panel with some amazing people from the Nation of Islam and the NAACP. It's a movie called Vaxxed. VAXXED. It was done in the UK, and it'll answer all your questions. Like, it was a cover-up with the CDC is major. And it was also a situation in Atlanta where they were giving autism to black boys. Like a genocide type of thing. So watch Vaxxed, and then you guys tell me where you think autism comes from. But I only can speak for myself. I know those vaccines did something to my baby.
One of the questions that we ask here when we talk weekly is, you have to tell us one thing that no one else knows about you that you can tell us. We need the exclusive. This is how we do it, right? Because we're not as big as everybody else, so we get exclusive from Mike Jericho's here. We got exclusive from him. That nobody know. I mean, you got to dig in your Birkin. I know you walked in here. What's that over there? I already see it, you know what I'm saying? Dig in your Prada, your Gucci, whatever. Go all the way down to the bottom. You know where the crumbs at? You got to go all the way through that. Tell us the one thing that no one else knows about you.
I'm like, okay.
Everybody laughing at before they say it, right?
Okay, so if y'all follow my social media, you see I post a lot of stuff about relationships. But in real life, I'm like petrified to be in a serious relationship.
And why is that?
I'm a very overprotective of my kids. And I feel like, I don't know, I want somebody, but I don't. Like, I kind of want my husband to live over there, and then I live over here. And then, like, we meet each other on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because I'm, like, scared to be in a relationship. But I don't say that, but I am petrified. I'm petrified.
Man, so we like to thank you for coming out, man. You know, take them all the way down to see
So what's next for you?
Yeah.
So I have a book coming out. It's supposed to come out Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. Like, I feel crazy because I didn't finish it, but I had so much other stuff going on. But I have a new book coming out. I can't tell you the name of it. It has nothing to do with autism. It is going to change the game. It's not urban fiction. It's not made up. I'm a nonfiction author, so everything I write is real. And my goal is to, like, I want to tell the story of, like, women. That's my ultimate goal. I want to keep telling the story of amazing women, be it myself or others. And my next book is going to make people be like, oh, what you talking about? You know what I mean? But it's really juicy. It's really good. And then I'm launching my website, IamSheenaE.com, very soon. So you can go there and subscribe so you can get the information when it comes. And then, like, me and you was doing the event together on the 24th.
Oh,
Yeah. It's like a relationship single type thing. Because that's another thing I want.
Oh, you want with Nafis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that just came
So
back
that's
like
next.
one,
So
yeah,
everybody should buy tickets for that, so you can hear my take on being single in the city. And just growing myself and getting out of my own way is what's next for me. Like, when you reach a certain level of success, 2016 was an amazing year for me. And you get scared, like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, so I've been battling, like, myself for the last 6 months. That's something people don't know about me, too. I've been in this trickery in my mind, and I've been praying on it and just trying to get the devil off my back because there's so much that I have to offer that I'm not done yet. So that's what's next. There's so much amazing stuff. A photo shoot. Monroe is doing amazing, and she thinks she about to have the Monroe show. So look out for that. Look out for that. And my son turning 16. I'm getting old, so keep watching, keep following, buy some books, help a girl out. Instagram is at @IamSheena_E. If you put I am Sheena E on Facebook, but I don't really accept people on Facebook. But you can check it out on Facebook. My website again, it's gonna be like a blog component. I'm gonna have it's gonna be real interactive. I'm gonna add some of my favorite things as far as fashion and beauty, because that is my background, and I want to try to encompass everything that I love. So IamSheenaE.com, I am Sheena_E on Instagram, Sheena709 on Twitter. I'm like a sporadic, random tweeter, but they be funny sometimes because I'm funny. So Twitter, and I'm around.
She in the building, man. So shout out.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you for coming out, man. Before we let you leave, though, you got to give one last thought to all the parents, all the the parents of those beautiful children that's on the spectrum, or maybe those that may have a child. How about that? Because a lot of people that's already have children, they kind of go through this process, so they kind of understand and know certain things. Yeah. But what about those expectant parents that may have a child, right?
Who are the ones that might be in denial?
Oh, yeah, how about that? That's a big one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll say, okay, 1, 2, if you may be pregnant, about to be pregnant, I would not vaccinate my child. And honestly, I tell people that I love, listen, if somebody would have told me, I would have listened. Just research it. Because I wouldn't wish autism on my worst enemy. I promise you I wouldn't. If you have a child that maybe your child is not talking and is 2 years old or 1.5 and not meeting certain milestones, do not be scared to look into early intervention services. It's free until your child is 3. They may not have autism. Nothing may be wrong with them. They could be a late developer, but it's better to know than to not know, because the things you do in that first 200 weeks will make or break. My daughter was nonverbal. My daughter now reads on a 4th grade level. She will sing you under the table. If you knew her then, you wouldn't think it was the same child, and that comes from me going hard in the paint. So go hard in the paint for your kid. Other special needs parents, moms, make time for you. Even if you gotta bring the kids, don't hide your kids. Take them everywhere. Just call before you come. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I take my daughter everywhere. I just call before I get there. Make sure they got french fries, because that's all she eat, and let's go. Just love yourself enough to be the best version of you for the child that needs the best version of you. That's what I would say. And educate people. Don't be scared to explain what autism is, because people simply just don't know. It doesn't have a specific look. You know what I mean? People talk to my daughter and she might not answer them, and I have to say, she's autistic. She might not understand everything that you're saying, and that's okay. And even the ones that's I go through my spells of depression. We human. It's okay to not be okay. But find somebody to talk to. Find a coping mechanism, not alcohol or drugs. Find somebody that you can confide in and just be the best you. I'm always available. If you want to vent, DM me. I got plenty of ladies all over the world. I don't know them personally, but we vent and we talk. And, just keep God first, because you go through a period of isolation. Your other friends don't have kids with special needs. God is going to be your bestie.
There you go. And with that said, there's nothing else left to be said. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So I appreciate you for coming on the show, man. And be your best self. And it's okay not to be okay. It is what it is. So there you go. So download and tune in at WPPM LP 106.5 FM, and tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on We Talk Weekly After the Talk. Follow us on Instagram at Twitter at We Talk Weekly, at Show Sheena E, at LaurenSizzle. We Talk Weekly is on Spreaker. Follow us now live, and follow us on Facebook on We Talk Weekly page, and subscribe to us on We Talk Weekly YouTube channel. And if you're in Philly, catch us every Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Comcast 56 Verizon 5 is 29:30. If you had that little Roku player, download the little TV app, and guess what? You can see us. We Talk Weekly, and now we are syndicated. Every Philly MBG network. We Talk Weekly is syndicated. You can find us in Atlanta, Baltimore, Birmingham, Chicago, Delaware, Houston, Jacksonville, Los Angeles, Miami, Newark, New Jersey, New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. And who do you look for? We Talk Weekly. I'm your boy, Talk Greg, with the beautiful and the beautiful
Sheena E.
And we be right back after this. Hello.